Welcome back. So we've just escaped the fog. You see I switched the camera on and off coming out of Dunbar. I didn't have the mic on till now. Right, new K60 tyres on. Oh, I'm out with the responsible adult today, Bob.
Eh?
I'm out with the responsible adult. So, as I said in the video, I put a message on our Facebook group, and of course Bob lives nearby, so he popped round. We've worked out a few things about these back wheels. So, the bike's got to be on the centre stand to put the wheel, take the spindle out, to drop the wheel onto the ground, and then you take the cush drive out, that right hand spacer falls out, and you lift that caliper off. But it's got to be tipped over. As you see in the video, the boy in India in the factory tips it and they just pull the wheel out. That's fine. In reality, putting it back in, they just sit the cush drive in a nanosecond. You'll be faffing around with that. But what we did, and I never filmed it and I wish we had, Bob, was Bob worked out a garden spade on a bit of wood, and somebody did suggest that, and it lifts the wheel, and then you just work your spindle in for the other side. Now coming up, that wheel spindle, what about the tiniest blob of araldite just on the lip of the, and it would just stick it onto the bearing, because then when it comes to, and all you need, you're just holding that spacer till you get the spindle in.
If you watch that video when the Indian does it, right, it isn't that spacer, he shows you putting the spacer in, but when he's putting the wheel in, the spacer's not there.
Yeah.
And he's putting it all back together, and apart from that, in India, if you stop breakdown in India, there's about 50 Indians all standing waiting to get
Well, that's true. I mean, every street corner there's folk will help you.
Down in Scotland, they just tell you to bugger off.
Now, don't get me wrong, if we were up north in those foreys again, I would put a new tube in, because you've got two guys at the front, two at the back, out your way, and they can just, everyone has a hand each. 4 hands will just lift that wheel up with 4 of you, and you can slot your spindle in. But the reality on your own is, I've tried bits of wood, I've mucked around with that. The only way we've worked out, the easiest way to physically lift that is with a big lever. And so basically what we're saying is you need to carry a garden spade with you.
you need 2 people minimum, because you've got to tilt the bike to get the wheel out.
So the problem as well is I've always had to take, you've seen Bob, if I had to take the brake pads out, which isn't a great idea, but this is bolted onto that. Now on most motorbikes, your calipers, like, and this caliper has 2 Allen bolts, so you take them out, you lift the caliper off. This is the problem that you've got as well. They as well are not long enough. You need a longer brake hose. The ABS wire, look, it is long enough maybe. So if you had an inch and a half extra hose, you'd pull that right out a lot easier. Well, I was going nuts yesterday about it, wasn't I? That's why I never videoed.
You've got to remember, you've got an aftermarket pipe on. If you look at the standard pipe,
yeah,
it's in the way.
It's right in the way as well.
You can't get, like, say, a screwdriver or anything through there to try
and most of us have pannier racks on our Enfields. Whether you've got boxes or nothing, you've still got this frame. So it's all restricting getting in.
In your one, you can get a screwdriver through there, and you can wiggle it about to put the spindle through from the other side.
Yeah.
But in this one, it's very difficult.
Now, a lot of you have done your own wheels, me included, and I have got my wheel in the past, but I've been at it for hours, honestly, mucking around with bits of wood, this and that. The spade thing works. Bob's wife worked the spade for him, and I'd have had Glenda would have done the spade if she was there, but I was on my own. She's up north. Now, moving forward, I'm not going to mention any names, but we know them. Bob watches them, I watch them. The big channels, right? Well, I'll name one. Bob's. You know, and if you watch him, you watch other boys. They've all got 350s. They all wax lyricals about them. I wax lyricals about them. You don't see any of them taking those wheels out.
So simple maintenance they're doing.
Aye, they just
oil in the chain and stuff like that.
Washing and polishing. That's all fine. That's nothing wrong with that. But that wheel, why they designed such an amazing, and it is an amazing bike for what it is. A bike that looks like it's for the 50s, and it's got ABS, fuel injection. It runs like a sewing machine. It's absolutely bomb-proof. Doesn't use any oil, doesn't leak, blah blah blah. Why did they make a back wheel so hard to put in and out on your own? There's no logic to that.
Front wheel's dead simple.
Yeah, and it's spoiled what is ideal. And I'm still going to buy another one, but I would say put heavy duty tubes in if you can get them. Michelin do a heavy duty tube for trail bikes.
The tube I've got's about as thick as a tyre.
Aye, I would put them in, and I'd put a gloop in them. I'm not sure which adventure bike, having an adventure, so like us, adventure bikes. Anyway, that's what I would do. We've also got very hard fit tyres, which are also probably less chance of a puncture from a pinch flat hitting a pothole or that. There isn't a great easy answer. Everybody says do this, do that. But the reality is, on your own, with that bike when it's filthy, and you're on your own, and everyone's minging, and minging means dirty by the way in Scotland, it's a different job to do than a shiny, clean new bike.
The answer is if you break down with something wrong with your back wheel, just get your carbon phone and get home.
Yeah.
Because you try to do it at the side of the road's a waste of time.
I mean, so I'm now only carrying a 19-inch tube, tyre levers and a patching kit. And I've got tyre foam. If the tyre foam's at work, I'm getting a lift home. Or if I'm up north, I'll just have to use my breakdown, which actually runs out next week, so I need to get a new one. Or next month, sorry. I'm going to try and get my MOT next week, because I'll not get off work at the time. My MOT is due in July. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling. Listen to the skylarks singing. Right, we'll head right down the borders and hopefully it's even bluer, but it's getting warm. Right, we'll see you in a bit. Can't quite see in through the gloom to the south the Cheviot Hills. You can just make out the humpback of the actual Cheviot Hill itself. So it is the summer solstice today, it's the 21st. But there'll be no sunrise and beautiful sunset in this solstice film. It's just the usual kind of weather and us on our bikes. So, despite the dramas of trying to insert the back wheel on your own before Bob turned up to help out, I do love this bike. I've even seen the big bikes zooming by up the hills there were stopped. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't make me want to go and get a bike like that. I've done all that years ago. Years and years ago. And I got away with it because I'm still here now. I don't want to go back to anything like that again, ever. There's a barley crop in there. The top turning, golden. You walked into it, the shoots would all still be lush green underneath. See the tram lines? They're green. See that? The shoots are, you can see. Nice to see them. Okay. We're off to Kelso, 6089. I'm giving you road numbers today, just for something different. So we'll come back when we roll into Kelso Square. See what bikes are there today. Oh, I can feel the heat suddenly. We've slowed right down. It's burning. Wow. Here we go. Usual spot. Well, if there's 2 sausage rolls left, I guess we'll have to fight all these boys. So you think that's a Suzuki Jimny or something?
It's one of these Suzuki Jimny things, isn't it?
So, all day bikes, Bob. I still have my classic 350. I can't see me getting onto the pillbox at Glenshee with any of these bikes. We'll stick with them.
Yeah, I went off his sports bikes a long time ago.
Every time we park, all these thousands of pounds worth of bikes,
Look at the fuel for it.
and folk look at the £3 bikes. So it's hilarious. Scooter's giving him a run for his money.
I mean, you used to do a toy run. Eh? The car would be a toy run. Oh, it's 600 to go to 300 miles. Go to the pub plus and take some.
I had a bit of a racket when the Harleys all left, eh? Oh, we had a funny conversation with a boy who said, I'd rather have one of your bikes than one of those bikes. They certainly attract a lot of bikes, folk, these Enfields, don't they? It's funny. Anyway, off we go. So we've lost the blue sky. Slight cloud now. There is a forecast for thunder later on this afternoon, but we should be home before then. It's not till 4 or 5 o'clock, so it's only back at 1 o'clock now. Nice long day. I forgot to give you road numbers again since we've left Kelso, for those who follow us on a map. Sorry. But you can find Gordon. We're north of Gordon now. So on our left is the remnants of Deer Street Roman Road. And if you do go across and see it and walk it or cycle it, you can really see the big wide road with the ditches either side. 2,000-year-old road. Quite amazing. Another thing we should go to one day is the souterrain up here, because you can actually get inside. And Sutra Isle was, I think it was folk with the plague were treated there before they died, but it was monks that were based up there. There you go, we've got over no problem in top gear. And up here on the right is another one of the ROC bunkers. See, I've got you looking for them now everywhere. But hopefully folk will come back over in time and say they went out and found some. That'd be good to hear that from folk interested in them. There's quite a big quarry going on in there now. So we should get a good view across Sea Lothian up here. And as I've kind of thought, the Sea Har is burned away now.
see the mist across the Lammermuir Hills there. Midlothian. So we'll take this road here, right? I don't like sitting here when there's oncoming traffic, it's quite scary when you've got the nut jobs driving. What I'll do is I'll come back to you when we get down to Humby Village, okay? Before we get down to Humby Village, we have, of course, to cross the border back into East Lothian. There you go, folks. Back in the Shire. Birthplace of Scotland's flag. So you remember we stopped here briefly at the start of the small boar run bikes. Day out with the monkey bike gang. That was brilliant. That's still probably the best day out with loads of bikes this summer yet. Summer evening up here is beautiful with the light on the hills. Maybe not tonight with the cloud. So that kennel there was a collie dog sat in there for years and years. It must have been about 25 years old. I remember, unless they got another one the same colour. Maybe it was his son. So the famous beech hedges of Humby, these hedges. People said there was a tunnel through the centre of them, but I think that's a bit of a myth. Well, there was a tunnel, but I don't think there ever has been. They're not quite big enough for that. Maybe it is there big enough, but there's no tunnel in the hedge. Now a drone straight up in the air looking along them would be actually a good shot to let you see them. Anyway, this film's getting quite long, folks, so we'll probably wrap it up. So yeah, just a good run out of the bikes, and good to catch up with Bob yesterday and today. And I've said all I need to say on the whole getting that rear wheel back in. There's no easy way of doing it, and it's near impossible on your own. You can do it with stuff, but you're not going to have it with you out on the open road. Honestly, try a garden spade. I should have videoed it, I know, and I never. but I'd kind of had enough of it by then. I'd had 4 hours sweating my head off in the garage. But you see how the wheel goes on, the tyres go on anyway now. I've done that already, but you know what I mean. So we'll get through these bends down here. And that's us done, as they say. Don't know what's next up on films. Probably just commuting to work or something. We'll see. This will be on, well, today's the 21st of June, so you can work it out how late it's going to be. It's going to be well over a week till you see this. By then, all my films from up north and Caithness will have been on, so I'll still be answering comments on those films for a few weeks yet, I think, which is fine. That's cool. Thank you as well all the new subscribers and new subs coming and saying hello, which is really nice. Okay then everyone, thanks again. See you in the next one. Take care. Bye.